Paxverse presents Bo Derek is 62. Try not to gasp when you see her now. When you think of the bombshells of the 1970s and 80s, one of the first names that will probably come to mind is Bo Derek. She had a very humble beginning, and she didn't always have it easy. If you think you know everything there is to know about Bo, well, think again. Bo Derek was actually born Mary Collins in 1956. She grew up in Southern California, and she learned what the lavish life was like when she was young. Her mother's second husband was a stunt performer. He was the one who got Mary interested in the movie business to start with. For Bo, school wasn't very important. She didn't think an education was a big deal since she planned to make it in Hollywood. When she was 16 years old, Bo caught the attention of a director named John Derek. He told her she'd be great for a role in the upcoming film Fantasies. She landed the role and had to skip school in order to film the movie in Greece for 10 days. It was the start of her career, and she fell in love with being in front of the camera. She also fell in love with John, hence the last name Derek. Bo always felt that school wasn't necessary. For about a month she spent her days at the beach surfing and sunbathing when she was supposed to be in school. When her mother found out, she was furious. Her mother forced her to go back to school, and she was finally enjoying school. Just when she started doing well, though, Bo landed that role in Fantasies and she took off to Greece. When she came home, she dropped out of school. She decided right then and then that her path was different than most people's. When John discovered Bo, he was interested in her from the beginning. She was only 16 at the time, and he was 30 years her senior. John was also married to Linda Evans when he met Bo. When the two returned to the United States after filming in Greece, they were dating. The media was shocked and followed their every move. Because of the rumors swirling about the couple, they decided to move to Germany, where they stayed for the next few years. The movie that John and Bo worked on together wasn't a hit at all. None of the motion picture companies showed any interest in the risky film. They filmed the movie in 1973, and it wasn't released until 8 years later. When it was released, it was slammed by critics. It was Bo's first acting role, and it was a flop. The only good thing was that it wasn't released right away because that saved Bo's career. After spending some time in Germany, Bo and John returned to the United States. They were married in 1976 when she was 19 and he was 50. John wanted to help Bo's career in Hollywood, so she got a full makeover, and that included dyeing her hair beach blonde, changing her name to Bo Derek, and from that point on, Mary Collins no longer existed. Bo carried a lot of guilt for the way that her relationship with John began. He was a married man, and because of her, that marriage ended. Bo says that she didn't regret that she and John got connected, but she did regret the circumstances. Bo always felt really guilty about tearing Linda Evans' marriage apart. It was so bad that she couldn't even face the actress. When the two were at the same Hollywood event, Bo couldn't bring herself to face Linda. When Linda found out that her husband was cheating, she says that it was the worst time of her life. Linda says the worst thing that could happen to her in the world was to live without John. He was everything to her, and the entire experience was heart-wrenching. Linda says she learned a lot from her experience, though, and in time she was able to let it go and start enjoying her life again. Bo and Linda actually knew each other before Bo started having the affair with John. Linda was the one who introduced the young girl to her husband, in fact. She also taught Bo a lot about acting and living in Hollywood. The fact that the two women were friends before the affair made it even more painful for Linda. Years later, Bo and Linda did become friends again. Linda said that it was easy for her to be friends with the women John chose because she really liked them. Many people find Linda to be a very mature woman, to not only have forgiven Bo for destroying her marriage, but also for befriending her again. Bo realized early on that being married to a Hollywood director was great for her career. She landed roles in plenty of movies thanks to John, including her breakout role in the movie 10. After that film, Bo became a household name and the it girl in Hollywood. After her success in the movie 10, Bo became a desirable woman in real life. She was now known as the new bombshell, and teenage boys followed and admired her, and teenage girls wanted to be her. Thanks to her success, she starred in films alongside famous actors including Shirley MacLaine and Anthony Hopkins. Hugh Hefner took notice of Bo and featured her in his magazine Playboy. From 1980 to 1990, Bo was in Playboy many times. When Bo was cast in the lead female role in Tarzan the Ape Man in 1981, she expected great things. Unfortunately, things did not go the way Bo had hoped. Critics were really hard on the final product. Some went as far as to say it was the worst film ever made. Bo went from being excited to becoming disappointed. Bo never gave up, though, and decided to keep working on her career. Even though the movie Tarzan was a flop, Bo's reputation of being a bombshell actress solidified. Unfortunately, this wasn't a good thing for Bo. Her appearance led to her continually being typecast. She could only land roles that called for a pretty woman. The deep, more complex roles were going to other actresses. Bo had no potential for awards or higher esteem. By the mid-'80s, Bo was still trying to prove herself as a serious actress. Her husband was directing the movie Bolero, and Bo landed the leading role. There was a lot riding on the film's success because Bo wanted to prove to Hollywood that she was more than just a pretty face. Because of the film's edginess and John's risque style, the film was too much for the general audience. It actually received an X rating, and the response was not what Bo was hoping for. Bo ended up winning a Golden Globe for her role in the movie 10, but then she got the Worst Actress Award for the movie Bolero. The inconsistency in her career wasn't helping. A few years later, she returned to the big screen hoping that her image as an inconsistent actress had faded. When she returned to Hollywood, she was a bit older and lesser known, and she may have finally shed her bombshell reputation. Part of the reason that Bo took a step back from acting was that John had a heart attack in 1986. Bo, at that point, took care of him. His next and final film was Ghosts Can't Do It in 1989. His own romance story inspired that story. The main character marries a woman 30 years younger than him, and he also has a heart attack. Bo was cast as the lead. After starring in John's last movie, Bo had made her comeback. During the 90s, she starred in Tommy Boy and Woman of Desire. Soon she had to take another step back to care for John. He was in his 70s, and his health was declining. Bo made John her top priority. Sadly, after 22 years of marriage, John died from heart disease at the age of 71. Bo was devastated when she lost the man who she spent her entire adult life with. She was 41 when her husband died, and she had never been on a date. She had never had her heart broken. It was a scary and uncertain time for Bo, so she didn't know how to go on. After John's death, Bo did what she could. She took on a few guest roles on shows like Family Law, The Drew Carey Show, and Seventh Heaven. None of this was fulfilling, however. Bo always loved horses, and she became an activist for groups against horse slaughter. That was her new passion and her new love. Today, Bo Derek is 62. She is still a stunningly beautiful woman who's found happiness and love out of the limelight. She continues to be active not just with her horses but also with the veteran community, and she's in a loving relationship with John Corbett. Subscribe for more.